Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about the Walking Dead comic, issue 158. Before we get into the cover reveal, two things. One, this is the cover for book 13. If you're collecting the books, we got Alpha on the cover here. Same style as usual for the hardcover books. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for additional information if there is any. So check that out. Next, the Rick Grimes coloring book. Now, recently I showed you guys the Walking Dead comic coloring book. And I think this is pretty cool that they're coming out with a Rick Grimes one, because I feel like he's going to have a lot of epic and iconic panels, and they're probably going to pack this with as many as they can. Now, I see a lot of complaints about there being too much black. Now, yeah, in some of them, there is just too much black. Especially, to defend it though, this is Charlie Adler's art, and that's the way I want it. You know, how it is in the comic. I don't want them to change it. So this panel right here would be impossible for them to change and get rid of all this black, because he'd have to go in there and redraw all the trees and some of the shading just to get the right detail. You can't just take the black out, because then a lot of the image and the details would be totally missing. You'd have to go in there and do more outlines. Anyway, like certain ones like the zombie image, too much black is what I'm hearing. Me personally, even though I'm not coloring these, I've seen people color them, and they have came out great. I don't care about the black. I wanted Charlie Adler's art, and what's cool with these is you could tear them out, and you don't even need them for a coloring book. You can hang up one of your favorite panels if you want to. Something like this is pretty cool. There's a lot of white there you can color and very little black. So, you know, it's a give or take. It's up for your own personal opinion how you feel about these. But I think this is cool. Rick Grimes coloring book. Since he's my favorite character, I'm really excited to see what panels they include in this one. And it comes out, it looks like, in October. If there's any other information, again, I'll put it in the video description. So now, the cover for 158. Now, I don't know if the covers are going to connect together, but I did put these together. They don't connect side by side right here, but I put them together because Michonne and Alpha have the same style, and then Rick and Negan have a similar style as well. Different shading, but the style on these covers are the same, and they match up. Now, I don't know if they're going to put 157 on top of 158, and then do that again with the next two and then the next two, and have a matching set like they did with 115, where they had a set of 10 covers that made a poster, but those spilled over into the next covers. You know what I mean? Like if that went on top of this, some of this issue and that issue would spill over. It would bleed over into the other issue as far as the images, and they're not doing that here. So I think they're sticking with the similar style and design, but I don't think they're going to connect them. But anyway, that's something small. I want to get into a couple predictions, and one big one that I'm very excited about that I left out of the review, and I'm just, I am thrilled. I can't wait for this, and it's probably coming in the next issue. And, well, let's back it up. Okay, so Michonne in issue 155, she takes a wounded Aaron to the hilltop because it's closer. Now she's going to have to tell Maggie how Aaron got wounded and what happened, because keep in mind, Maggie does not know what's going on at this point in time. She has no idea. She only talked to Andrea about Carl and Lydia so far, and Andrea is out of the loop as well. I mean, she's in the loop now because she went back to Alexandria, but the point is Maggie doesn't know. So Maggie is going to find out, and I can't fucking wait to see how she reacts. Is she going to be impulsive? Is she going to be reckless? Is she going to do something irrational? Is she going to, you know, mount up some people to go after him, to do some recon, to, you know, I mean, there's a million different possibilities. I think Maggie is smart enough not to do anything crazy and reckless, but she might be so pissed that it might cloud her judgment somewhat. So I'm real excited to see what Maggie's going to do. Now, here's the thing with Negan. I talked in a different video about Negan is definitely safe because they're doing his backstory over the next year. I mean, we have like 10 more months of his backstory coming out. So I don't feel like they would kill him off now. Not when they just started the backstory. And I don't feel like they would kill him off even a few months before they finish his backstory. But it is possible. I just don't feel it yet. I don't see it in the cards for Negan, his fate dying soon, especially not in the Whisper of War. But if he's going to stay alive, that would mean that they have to attack hard. Does Negan lead or help lead Alpha into a successful attack at the hilltop or at Alexandria and defeat one or both of them? Because we can't have Negan as this villain lead the Saviors, get defeated, get thrown in prison, and then escape just to lead the Whispers and be defeated, get thrown in prison and then escape again. That just doesn't make any sense creatively to continue that again, to just double it. It's like repeating what you've already done. So in my opinion, Negan would have to do something that would be completely different than what happened previously. So I think Negan will win in some way. And I think that Kirkman is telling the truth when he said the Whisper of War will be very different than what we've seen in All Out War. And again, I'm hoping that's the case, and I'm really curious to see what kind of war this is going to be. Again, we might have a battle or two where you have two opposing sides or two opposing forces on each side of the battlefield and they attack. But this feels different as far as the outcome. I truly believe right now that the survivors just might lose a majority or a big part of the battle. They might not all be defeated and killed, but I believe there's a very good chance they could actually get run out of this town finally. I'm not saying that is a definite prediction. Right now, I also doubt it because I feel like they've already invested so much into Alexandria that the only reason, possibly, for pushing the survivors out now is to see this new world that Kirkman is creating, because the world is changing drastically out there, right? Everything's growing in. We probably have new communities sprouting up. What if this is Kirkman's way of showing us what that new world is? You know what I mean? Now, he could have given us a character to go out and explore, to see what the world is like, to see what's out there. He could have done that. We could have followed Magna on an expedition. We could have followed Michonne on an expedition and still kept Alexandria. But this might actually be the reason why they go exploring to see what else is out there. They could take such a hard loss during the Whisper War. Now again, it might not just be black. It might not be black and white like we're thinking, even myself. Just now I'm thinking, wow, it doesn't have to be a clear victory and a clear defeat. It doesn't have to be that at all. The Whispers could come in, defeat the Saviors, essentially defeat them in a way where they're not a threat anymore, and the Whispers can just go off again. Maybe keep an eye on them or whatever. It doesn't have to be kill them all and, conquer the town. It doesn't have to be that. So I'm really curious now to see what direction they're going to take, and I'm excited that it's going to be different than All Out War. We don't need another repeat of that, you know what I mean? Anyway, give me your thoughts and opinions. We got a lot more discussions coming for the Walking Dead comic and the show, and we're going to start putting out videos now on the regular. I have a problem with my laptop. Watched the video previous about No More Outcast reviews, and also I might be able to get an Outcast review for episode 2 up in a couple days. I'm trying to get that done. And Preacher and Game of Thrones. Those are going to be late another day, but I'm working on those as well. Anyway, thoughts, opinions, predictions, theories, you name it, put those down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Gizmo. Subscribe now.